Hey, good morning, everybody. It's cold this morning. I got on my Charlie Kirk shirt, got my Charlie Kirk up there. Oh gosh, it's been 2 months since we lost him. Turning Point is growing by leaps and bounds. Young kids are coming to know the Lord. It is a great time in America that came from tragedy. That is so weird. That is so weird to me. And lately I've seen so many crazy things. Do you know you can see anything on YouTube? And if you don't know about the local things happening, just wait about 20 minutes and get on YouTube and you'll find out about it. We have seen over and over and over, I've talked about do not hike alone. Do not go hiking alone. A gentleman is missing now, and they have had crews and dogs and helicopters and drones out looking for this gentleman, and they, until this morning, I don't think they'd found him yet. And his family keeps saying he's smart enough that he could cover himself with leaves, he could stay warm, so please pray for the family. He was up on this mountain, Blood Mountain, and when we think about, I tell y'all and tell you, I wish you would truly listen. Do not go hiking alone. I don't care if you're an experienced hiker. I don't care if you won a triathlon. I don't care about how you feel about your health. When you get out there alone, something could happen. You could trip, you could fall, you could break your ankle, you could be stuck in the woods. Don't go hiking alone, please. And this is a beautiful time of year, and I understand why people love to hike, but please don't do it alone. And I feel so bad for this family because there are so many teams of people out searching for this gentleman. And the last gentleman that was missing from Canton, Georgia, sadly was found deceased. And he too had gone hiking. Don't do this, y'all. Get somebody to go with you. Hire a hiker. I don't care how you have to do it, but don't get in the woods alone. And something as simple as twisting your ankle could leave you stuck out there in the woods exposed. So don't do it. Don't do it. As we come up on the anniversary of those days in January, this book was written about an event that happened January the 1st. And I've told y'all about it, the Meredith Hope Emerson abduction, and sadly the murder of this beautiful young lady. She thought because she had her dog with her that she would be protected, and she felt safe. And sadly, bad things happen. So take somebody with you. Take a friend with you. Speaking of friends, it was so good to have Miss Hilda with us yesterday. And man, we're nearing the end of the year, y'all. The year has just gone by. Whoop! It started on January the 11th when I fell and busted my noggin. Do y'all remember that? And I came on and I had a black eye and a blue eye and a busted nose and you name it. I was looking dreadful. I was looking real dreadful. But you know what that fall taught me? Watch where you step and don't get to running and get in a hurry. So now I walk like an old lady because I'm trying to protect myself. I'm trying to live to be that next birthday. But be cautious, be careful, because one step can change things. And all I did was hit the porch. And boy, when I hit the porch, I hit the porch. Be careful. I'm still having crazy headaches from this stuff. It's weird. We got to be careful. Old folks have to watch out for each other. So I'm telling y'all, watch out for each other. Now, we've got some photos we're going to share that we had yesterday, but got to talking to Hilda and I forgot about the photos. So we're going to share some stuff with you, and I want you to get out. These are kind of like the last days of the beautiful trees, and I found some pretty trees out. I found some pretty houses out. I just went riding in the woods, and I saw just a little bit of color left here and a little bit of color left there. And that's what the fall is in Georgia. We are so blessed with 4 seasons, and we have 4 seasons that are very definite. Now, as a realtor, the thing I love about showing property in the dead of winter, there are no surprises because you see everything around you. You see if there's a hog farm behind you, well, you might smell it too. You see if there's a big chicken farm over here behind you, you see everything. So I always tell people my favorite time to show property is in a rainstorm, because then people say, oh, are those gutters clogged up? Well, no, they appear to be working perfectly. So in the winter, you can see things that you can't see any other time of year. Just because the fall leaves are going to be going away, don't get stuck in the house and don't sit there and get sad or depressed. Get out and ride the roads. Go up to the top of Burnt Mountain, and when there are no leaves, you can see everything. It is just beautiful. It's very different looking. And then if you go right up to the top of the hill by Monument Falls, then you see the ice hanging off of the rocks, and it's so pretty, and it's a great place to take pictures. So just because the leaves are going to be leaving us soon, the leaves are leaving. That makes sense, doesn't it? But when the leaves leave, then you can see any and everything. What I've seen lately, this morning, 5 deer dead. Yesterday there was 3. Today there was 5 deer dead. And I understand there's something that's going on this time of year that they're just getting anxious and they're running around, and they might run around in front of your car. So you better be cautious driving too. Now, Trace, can we pull up those pictures? Hello? Hello? Can we get those pictures up? Okay. I don't know what happened. There they go. This was 1979, I think, or the beginning of 1980. Is this not crazy? I had really long waist-length hair, and because I ran a restaurant, I kept it braided and pinned up on top of my head, and I felt like Granny of the Clampets on Beverly Hillbillies. But I had to do that because when you have long hair and you're working in the kitchen, that's not a good situation. So I always kept it pinned up on top of my head, and that was after a long day at the Iron Skillet. We sat down and actually had a meal together, which was really weird. Now this, I always say, the mountains are calling and they're closer than you think. That is a photo from Ball Ground, Georgia. We are not the first mountain city, but we have mountains. And so if you want to buy a house with a mountain view, I can sell you one. Because we've got them scattered here, there, and everywhere with a mountain view in Ball Ground, Georgia. So think about it. And this. Now that's 3 of the best. And they happened to be together for a wedding on Saturday. And I said it was funny. I was calling the one in the middle and checking up on him, and I couldn't get him on the phone, and it's because he was performing a wedding at the time I was trying to call him. So old friends, dear friends, gathered together, and that was the coolest thing. That was neat to see them all dressed up and looking spiffy. So really cool. Old friendships are the best, and those are 3 of the best. Yep, 3 of the best. And I bet a lot of you folks up here know that the preacher man is Sanford Fountain. Now this is 4 generations. Now I want y'all to think about this. Xana Jordan is 3.5 years old. By the time this kid is about 8, she will be driving a car. By the time she's 5, she will be driving us around in that thingamadoodle. And she is not afraid of anything. She loves the farm. She loves animals. She loves any and everything to do with outdoors. She loves to go barefooted. And one of the things she's finding out now, it's too cold to go barefooted, so you have to put shoes on those feet. But she will be driving us around. Now, I tell you, the kid is something else. She's 3.5 years old, for goodness sake. And the first time y'all got to meet her here on the set, she was 2 weeks old. It's just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. And now 3.5 years old. But man, she is something else. And yeah, she will probably end up being a farmer, or I don't know. She loves animals. Gosh, she loves animals. She loves the dirt. She loves the water. She loves being outside. And we're getting ready in Ball Ground for the Christmas parade. The Christmas parade is the first Friday night in December. Please come and join us, and please bring an unwrapped toy for the Marines Toys for Tots. This is year after year after year. Ball Ground gathers many toys for the Marines and the Toys for Tots. The need is greater than ever before. So please, if you can afford it, please do that. And it's time to get out your Christmas china. I love using all my Christmas dishes. There's something about, I use my granny's dishes on Thanksgiving, my old Jewel tea dishes, but I love Christmas dishes. And if you're looking for Christmas dishes, I've seen some really cool sets at some of the thrift stores lately. So get out and get you some Christmas dishes and have fun setting the table. And don't forget, again, the first Friday night in December always is the Christmas parade and ball ground. So, and it is the March of the Toys, and there will be lots and lots of things happening. And my favorite thing about that parade is Christmas Pete, because Christmas Pete is just about the coolest truck you've ever seen in your life, and he's been making some guest appearances, some sneak guest appearances, just showing up all over Canton already, and we're really, really excited. And this is a precious little girl who is in the hospital right now. I hope she's going to get to come home. I didn't check this morning. But you remember Nathan Johnson, who was on here with me when he was 9 years old, and his sister Ansley was sitting over here in the audience. She didn't want to be on TV. She was bashful. But she is a big, big FFA participant in Pickens County, and she's been in the hospital a couple of days, and they're trying to find out exactly what's going on with her. But they will get it straightened up, and she'll be back at home, and she'll be back showing those pigs again. She loves her FFA, and so say a little prayer for her, and hopefully they will find out just what's wrong. And hope they do it quickly, because it's time to get home and get back to the holidays and get back to the school stuff. So again, just say a prayer for her, and hopefully they can find out just what's going on. They've done a bunch of tests and just not quite sure yet. So say a prayer for that sweet girl. Now, we've got a video of a church. It's where probably 80% of our family is buried. And there's something about an old cemetery, when you wander through an old cemetery and you see all the familiar names. I've got great uncles, great aunts, great great grandparents, great 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 grandparents buried there. And when I think about, the church has been there since the early 1850s, I think, or 1840 maybe. And it's crazy because that cemetery is now full, and they've spread across the road. Our graves, are they going to fill up all the church cemeteries? And then what are we going to do? Is life as we know it going to change because we take up so much land with cemeteries? We've got the Veterans Cemetery down in Canton that is 600 acres. Think about that. 600 acres were donated, and a lot of it is very rough terrain. So as they get in there and as they grow, when cemeteries grow and they fill up, you got to have somewhere else to go. And thank goodness Mount Vernon has a little piece of land across the road. But when the whole thing gets full, I don't know what happens then. Because if you've been a member there forever and ever and ever, I don't know how that works. But as I was wandering through the cemetery, I thought, man, they are filling up slots like crazy. And the weirdest thing was a bunch of my cousins that are younger than me are at the cemetery. So I feel very, very blessed to still be here. And when I think about that, if you've had a birthday this year, you've done better than a lot of people. And looking at some of the people that I went to school with that died in their 40s and their 50s and their 60s, that's right. And I'm like, what in the world? And this, if you have a camera, while the leaves are still pretty, it would be nice. This will probably be the last couple of days the leaves are pretty. Get out and go to your local family cemetery and take some pictures. Don't take pictures. Like I did not take any of my grandparents' grave because I'm ashamed of the flowers that were on there. I put on there in the spring and they looked awful, so I've got to take Christmas flowers. But it's so cool to go to the cemetery when Christmas decorations are all out, and everybody does a really good job and brings beautiful flowers, and that's just a pretty time of year to visit the cemetery. And a lot of times folks come into town that aren't normally in town, and it's a great time to go visit your family's cemetery. And if you're into genealogy, that's a good place to find, well, who was so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. So are we going to show that now? Yay! Can we show that? There you go. In Dawson County, it's just over the Cherokee County line, and this is where my family has gone to church forever and ever and ever. And this was the day that Tim and I were out doing some footage on a piece of property I'd just listed. And I said, do you have time? Let's run down to the cemetery. And it's just so pretty. There's my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my mama, all these folks that I have known all my life. And I can remember as an 8-year-old child, the first funeral I ever went to was at that church. And it was at Mount Vernon Baptist Church. And I can remember, did y'all used to be scared of going to the funeral home? It used to make me nervous, and now it's just a way of life. I guess as we age, we learn a little bit more about it. Now, today, we are honoring all the great cooks in the world. All of y'all will be putting out your best for Thanksgiving dinner. But if you don't like to cook and you don't want to cook, I bet you if you went through the Speed Burger drive-thru and you just picked up a whole bunch of food, they won't be open on Thanksgiving Day, so you'd have to buy it 2 days ahead of time. But if you bought it and you took it home, I bet your family would be happy with that. The good thing about the holidays is just getting together. Get together, enjoy time together, whether it's a simple meal, an elaborate meal. Everybody, if you bring a cake and you bring potato salad and you bring green beans, everybody brings something. It doesn't put so much pressure on the cook. So maybe that's what you should do. But when you really, really think about, it's all about the time together, because we don't know from Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving, from Christmas to Christmas, who we're going to miss, who we're going to lose, and who we'll never see again until we get to heaven. So make this Thanksgiving a very, very special one, even if it means a bag of burgers from the Speed Burger. Now, can I just tell y'all how good they are? A Speedy cheeseburger with slaw on it is like so good. It is so good. And it's one of those things. And so today you're going to get to meet and you're going to get to enjoy a visit with Cindy Heath. She is crazy. 61 years the same family has been selling us food and feeding our families for 61 years. I love honoring local businesses. I love showing that if you work hard and you do it right, it'll work. There will be some hard times. It won't all be fun. There'll be times you'll want to throw in the towel and say, I'm so done with this. But in the long run, you get to work for yourself. You get to see accomplishments that your parents started, and you get to enjoy seeing the same sweet, smiling faces all the time. So if you have a local restaurant, please support those local restaurants. Whatever tiny town you're in, there's a local restaurant somewhere. There's multiple local restaurants here in Ellijay. Get out and support those local businesses. We're going to take a commercial break. And then when we come back, you're going to get to hear my visit with Cindy Heath. If you've ever gone through the drive-thru at the Speed Burger, you probably ordered a Billy steak. You probably ordered a Speed Burger. If you were J.S. Martin, you ordered a big cheeseburger. And if you really like milkshakes, they have really good milkshakes, you would order a chocolate shake. So remember the small businesses that made it through the hard times. And please, if you have an opportunity, if you're in the area, stop and eat with these local businesses, because they're not like the big boys. They don't have a bunch of corporate backup. They're doing it on their own. And they often say, how are we going to make it through today? Well, you can help them. So remember to support a local business. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, you're going to get to see our visit with Cindy Heath.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
If you or your business are looking for local advertising opportunities, we have sponsorships available for new programming coming soon on ETC3. Contact us at 706-697-5591.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Hey, good day, everybody. What a beautiful day in North Georgia. I have a very special guest, and I'd like to introduce her, but I'd really like to introduce what she's cooking tomorrow. So let's talk food, Miss Cindy. Tell folks your name and where you work.
My name is Cindy Heath, and I work at the Speed Burger in Jasper.
I'm the Speed Burger in Jasper, in business for
61 years.
61 years of feeding the folks.
Yep.
Many, many, many folks. And you know, when I think about the Speed Burger and how many folks you fed, remember the tornado that came through on Palm Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
It hit our building, and the building was destroyed. And I kind of stayed tough and strong. And after all of that, in the aftermath of the cleanup, JS said, run to the Speed Burger and get all the volunteers food. And that's a memory I'll never forget, because as I approached the Speed Burger, I looked at Kiker Funeral Home, and there were 6 names of one family.
Oh.
Do you remember that time in Jasper?
Mm-hmm, I do.
It was a time that neighbors came together and people joined in. And I think that's been a big part of what the Speed Burger is famous for. Mm-hmm. You come together for the community. Y'all have always sponsored everything. And I know the guys who work for you today still make money to do things to help other people.
Yeah.
That's what your company is about. That's what your family's about.
Right.
And that's important.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
And it's so weird, because the other day I was coming home from Jasper, and I had a bag of Speed Burgers sitting beside me with slaw on them, so the best. And somebody called me and they said, what are you doing? I said, I'm coming home from the Speed Burger. She said, what's the Speed Burger? I said, oh my gosh, I sold you a house and I didn't tell you about the Speed Burger? Are you kidding me? So tell folks a little bit about the Speed Burger and how it started.
My parents opened it in 1964. I'm not sure what month. Mama can't remember. She just remembers that Debbie and Charles, my older brother and sister, were in school. So it had to be sometime in August. We're not sure when. Because back then you went to school, you know. Well, they wasn't in school because it was sometime in August. So they opened in a trailer. My dad had worked for somebody in Dalton, Jack Poe, who had a string of trailers back then, you know. So they had opened one in Gainesville for him, and they went through Jasper from Dalton to get to Gainesville. So then Daddy wanted to open his own in Jasper. So they opened it.
It obviously worked.
It did.
It worked. 61 years ago. Okay, the first menu was probably pretty simple.
Basically what we have now.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It wasn't broke, so you didn't have to fix it.
The only thing we've ever really taken off, back in the day, they sold a fried oyster plate.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't go over too well, and then you got where you couldn't get them. We sold fried chicken, bone-in chicken, for years and years, but during COVID, it got so expensive and the cuts got so irregular, we couldn't serve it. I mean, the price point was too high. So we quit serving that and hadn't put it back on the menu.
You know what's so cool? We're talking 61 years. We have gone through horrible times in the economy. We have gone through craziness with you couldn't get this, you couldn't get that, but y'all survived.
We did, and we survived because, I mean, they were what hurt us most more than any other chain coming in or the changes in Pickens County. I mean, during the recession, you know, we had a really hard time. That's how we added the Philly cheesesteak and the vegetables to the menu, because we even needed more variety of what we had. So we've always just made it do.
Okay, the history of the Speed Burger is long and large, but the coolest thing about it is there are no changes. You know, it's still good food, good service, great prices. The hours changed. Talk about that just a little bit. How did you adjust?
Well, about 25 years ago, we started closing on Saturday. We was never open on Sunday, but we closed on Saturday because we had smaller kids and we wanted to do stuff on the weekends with them. And then during COVID, we closed on Wednesday so that I could have 2 teams of employees so we didn't cross-contaminate, so we could stay open. So you work Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and then you was off again. And that other crew come in Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So, and everybody really liked that.
That's amazing.
And we got COVID a few times and been there, but we never had to close for COVID. We car hopped for a year. I could not do that. That was just a few years ago. I was able to car hop for a year. But we kept the doors open. And then now everybody that works for me really enjoys Wednesdays off. And honestly, I enjoy my Wednesday.
Sure.
So we're just making it work for you.
Yeah.
So
And if it weren't Wednesday, we would have some of your great food sitting here to display. We would probably have a big cheeseburger in honor of J.S. Martin. We would probably have a sack full of speedy cheeseburgers with slaw on them because that's my specialty.
yeah, just like, and that's what a lot of locals eat. I kid, but they type and tell if you're a local or not. It has
right.
slaw on your burger.
That's right. Well, my thing to do, and this is how I justify this. I said, okay, I'm only going through here once, and I'll get to work, and I won't be able to leave again. I get 2 chicken tenders, and then I get 4 speed cheese slaw. That's it.
Yeah.
I eat the 2 chicken tenders first, and then later in the day, I can eat a cold speed burger.
Yeah.
I love them. I love them.
And some people do. Some people, you can throw them in the microwave and they'll be on the next day. You know, maybe not without the slaw, but yeah, people eat them all the time. But I think we sell more speed burgers now than we used to, just because people's found them. I mean, they're affordable. You know, you don't have to get a whole meal. You can get 2 speed burgers and a drink for less than $5.
That's it.
That's the deal.
Now, what is your favorite that you've eaten all your life? What's the one thing you always go back to?
So I go to is a big cheeseburger.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't eat that much red meat anymore, so I eat it about once a week. That's my treat. That's my Friday meal.
Is there something special y'all do to that cheeseburger? Because JS would always say, no. I'll say, well, you want me to start? I'm going through town. You want me to get you a Burger King? No, I want a speed burger. I said, JS, they're closed today. What do you mean? I said, they're closed. Oh, no. You know, there's something about the flavor. What do you do to that burger?
I think it's because they're cooked fresh, but it's also the sauce. We make the sauce, and we use a steamer. So you want to get a melted cheese on the beef, and that's a little cold piece of cheese on a hamburger.
No.
So yeah, I think that's the thing.
Yeah. Now, what about plates? With the cost of doing business, is it still affordable to eat a plate at the Speed Burger?
It is. I mean, you can do a plate and a drink for $14, and that plate should be plenty of food. I mean, most people take some of it home with them.
Right.
But yeah, you can still do a plate and a large drink for $14, so that's not bad.
Now, a loaded question. When all these corporations come in, has the Speed Burger been affected by this?
We are. I mean, and it's going to be a little bit different this year because there are going to be 3 or 4 open in one year. Usually, you have one opening. It affects us. The worst one in my lifetime is whenever, believe it or not, when Hardee's first come to town. Because if you remember, Hardee's was the first chain.
That's right.
And it was
But you know what's so funny? Hardee's didn't make it, and the Speed Burger did.
Yeah, we're still here.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah, we're still here.
And I think it's called consistency.
It is. And we micromanage a lot just because there's a lot of moving parts in a restaurant people don't see. And we try to keep everything consistent. But like we've had places where we buy our products from go out of business. Where we buy our hot dogs. They decided they were closing. They said, this will be your last delivery. We're closing. They got tired and they went home.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Is there a retirement in your future ever?
There is. And my kids don't want it, so we'll have to sell it. Just because, I mean, I'm 59, I can't, and restaurant work's hard.
Sure it is. Well, I worry about change. I don't like change. I'm a choir old lady that don't like change.
Well, I think that's why people like the Speed Burger, especially if you're from Jasper, this area, because it's the same. You came here with your grandparents. You came here with your parents. You brought your grandkids. I mean, we're into generations of people eating at the Speed Burger and eat the same thing.
Always. Yes, always.
So let's try to keep it consistent. So we try real hard.
Well, it just cracked me up when I was on the phone with and she didn't know about the spit burger. I said, I can't believe I didn't tell you. How do people find out about y'all now? Because you've never had to advertise.
We used to have commercials on ETC.
I remember we got some of the old ones.
Yeah, and
We do have some of the old ones.
listen, the economy gets better, we get slow. Advertising's kind of the first thing we got. And it's just word of mouth. I mean, it's word of mouth. And people says, I mean, we have new people come in. It used to back in the day, we knew everybody that come in the door and their family and the kids and the whole 9 yards. But now, every day there are new people that's never ate at the Spook Burger before. So,
Well, we have 2 buildings in Ball Ground that are going to be available for restaurants, and we're having a really, really hard time selecting who would be here.
right.
We already have a hamburger place. We already have a pizza place. We have somebody who serves Mexican food. So we don't know what we want. If you were going to open a restaurant in a town like Ball Ground, what would you choose? What would be your go-to?
I think you need something kind of home cooking. I think that's what we're missing everywhere.
That's what I think.
It's and it needs to be real home cooking. It don't mean that's hand cooking.
That's right. That's right. Well, and I don't want to ask you about this because the Speed Burger has existed for 61 years. 61 years, you've never had to serve a drop of alcohol.
No.
Never. And so many people say now, well, if we didn't have alcohol, we wouldn't break even. If we didn't have alcohol, alcohol is our profit. How do you feel about that? You've made it 61 years and you've never sold the first alcohol?
It's never really been an option for us. We never thought about going that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you serve alcohol, you eliminate some of your clientele as well.
Absolutely.
You lose that kind of family atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Because some people aren't comfortable being around that.
Right.
But I don't think you have to have alcohol.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
I do insist on half and half tea.
Yes.
We do insist on that.
Everything can't be instant.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like everybody loves our tea. Well, that's because we still brew our tea. We don't have the tea machine in the building.
Yeah.
We still boil big pots of water and pour it in there. So some things you have to really.
That's the way you time is tea.
That's how you make tea. You don't make it in a tea machine.
Yeah. That is so cool. Now, when we think about the kids that work for you today, I love that they raise money for different things happening in the community. That's something that y'all have passed on because you've always given back to the community.
And the thing is, back when tip jars first started, we said, okay, you can have a tip jar, but a portion of that's going to a charity, and we'll match whatever that is. So we try to do local charities. We tried a couple of national charities, and people just didn't want to give to that.
Right.
So we always pick, and it seems like everything, even we do the senior center, just because I know a lot of times they get forgotten as far as people giving.
Absolutely.
And then we do the Boys and Girls Club. We do snacks after school.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do foster kids, and then the animals. Usually we do a shelter once or twice a year.
Those are all important, but Veterans Day is coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe we should salute our veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have to do, because we do foster kids. Our foster kids is the most expensive. It takes us about 3 months to raise enough money because we never not gotten everything on that foster kids list.
Wow.
So we've always been able to get it, and we're closed a week for Thanksgiving, a week for Christmas. So, we have to, usually takes 3 months to get that foster care money.
Yeah. I'm sure. Well, let's look at your employees. You've got some that have been there 15 years.
And we've always had some, even when Mom and Daddy was running it, we had some that stayed with them for 15, 20 years. But it is hard on your body. It's not something you're going to do when you get old.
Yeah. And it's not for the faint of heart because you can't make everybody happy.
No.
Anytime you're dealing with the public, somebody is going to have a problem. Right. And you just have to handle it, Right. And I can remember somebody saying they got so mad because they left out a pack of ketchup when they went through a drive-thru. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you got mad because your ketchup was left out. Okay. All right. Yeah. You can't do that. You're serving the public. Yeah. And have been. Do we have a number on how many Speed Burgers have ever gone out the door or the window? Do you have a clue?
No, we never even attempted to count it up to tell you the truth.
Even imagine.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've never even attempted to count.
Yeah.
So
I have gone and ordered 24 Speed Burgers, like when we had the event after the tornado, because we were feeding all the volunteers that were helping us. And JS said, how are you going to know what to get? He said, are you going to ask everybody what they want? I said, no, I'm getting a sack of Speed Burgers, a sack of double cheeseburgers, a sack of steak sandwiches, and that's what I did. And it's kind of variety because if you can't find something at the Speed Burger, you're really not hungry.
And that's one reason we're so busy. We have so much. We got a lot of food on the plate, or you can get 2 speed burgers or a hot dog, or you can get a hot dog and a speed burger, whatever you want. I mean, that's our thing. We didn't have combos for years, but when everybody started getting combos, we had to make a combo because people thought, I ordered a cheeseburger. Why didn't I get a combo? Because you didn't order a fry and a drink. So we just made up combos because at the speed burger, you get what you want, not what on the list.
Okay, when did the Billy Cheese come about?
That roughly come up, I guess, when they started being popular, maybe 50 years ago. And one of the girls that works for us, Camille, she said, well, we shouldn't call it a Philly. We should call it a Billy after Billy. So that's how we made the Billy cheesesteak.
So, and how many of those have you sold? A bunch.
A bunch of them put out it. And only certain people like those. A lot of people eat Speedburger won't try new things.
Yeah, yes. I was married to one of those. Yeah, I was married to one of those. I'd say, don't you want to try? No, I want a big cheeseburger. No, I want a big cheeseburger. No, I want a hamburger steak plate. Okay, I got you. I got you.
One or the other. Can't taste it and bring him a cheese.
That's right. That's right. Okay, when we look at the family members, let's talk about how many family members have been there and who's worked through the process.
Well, there's 4 kids. There's me, my 2 brothers, and a sister. They all work there. Both of my kids work there. My nieces and nephews work there. The great nieces and nephews haven't. So, but.
And does it hurt your feelings that your kids don't want to carry on this business?
No, but restaurant work's hard. Sure, it's only getting harder for non-chains.
Yeah.
I don't know about a chain. I've never owned one, but for non-chains, it's only getting harder. They don't want. I don't feel like they are not encouraging people to own their own business.
And we won't even go there because I can tell you where that starts.
Yeah.
And that is, the American dream is certainly opening your own business.
Right. And nowadays, whereas used to, you have to have more people to do the same job. Used to, you had one person and they done 2 or 3 things at the same time. Now you got to have 3 people to do what one person used to do. And that's fine and dandy if you can find those 3 people, but then you got to pay 3 people as opposed to paying one person. So it's very frustrating, and I don't see that getting any easier.
No.
So I don't wish that on anybody.
No. Well, when I went to work, 23 years old, I've been self-employed since I was 23. And it's because I worked for somebody who wasn't very reasonable, really not a good boss at all. A good boss makes a good crew. A good boss makes a good crew, and y'all have been the best. And people know. I mean, they know we're going to the Speed Burger. We're going to get what we want. We're going to get what we need. We're going to get a good price. We're going to get a great value. That's been instilled in y'all from your mom and dad.
And we want it to remain affordable for the average person, you know. We Merkley could charge more.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't penny and dime everybody. Okay, you want extra honey mustard? Here's you an extra honey mustard. Here you want extra onion or pickle or whatever. There's not an upcharge for every chain.
Yeah.
And I understand some places have to do that, but it also gets just a little excessive.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, really? Okay. Yeah. That drives me crazy. So, yeah. Okay. When you go out to eat, where do you choose to go? Do you cook at home or do you like to go out to eat? Is there anywhere you enjoy going out to eat?
Yeah, we eat out a lot. I mean, I feel like we do. I mean, some people eat out every single day. We don't do that. I do cook supper, usually 4 nights a week. We might eat leftovers one night, but we usually eat at home at least 4 nights a week. But on the weekends, we eat out, usually Saturday or Sunday, at least one or both of those days.
Do you ever try other local restaurants?
Yeah, we eat at Waffle House. Like, I'm going to get my mother today. Yes, I go, yes. She lives at assisted living, and so she don't get breakfast very often because she don't get up that early, and they won't serve it but at breakfast. Oh, yeah. So they eat breakfast on Wednesday for lunch. That's how. And we eat pizza a lot. So, and Mexican. We'll go to the Mexican restaurant. Yeah. But I am kind of picky.
So, oh, yeah. Now, let's talk about health score and how important that is to y'all.
It's real important, and it's changed over the years. You know, we had Jan Stevens forever.
Yeah.
It was the only.
Thank you, Jesus. We had Jan Stevens forever.
And we went through transitions after Jan. We had,
Well, we had Bill Hamrick before her.
See, I don't remember her. I just always.
Bill Hamrick was there before her. He actually trained her.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Jan was one, and if they tell us to do something, usually it's done by the end of the week. If it's whatever it is, we always take care of it right then and there. And there was a transition after Jan. They brought in a couple, and one. When she walked in the building, she said, "This building is so old, I don't even know where to start." And I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be a great relationship."
Oh my gosh. Wow. Instead of saying, what a piece of Jasper history.
Yeah, and every time she came in the door, she cost me $1,000 at least because she wanted something major done. And so that turned into a nightmare. We actually had to end up. I called Jan. And Jan was on the way of leaving. Anyway, I ended up calling her boss in Dalton, and I said, you come and look what she just made me do to my plumbing, and you tell me this is okay, and I'll leave it." But she had us change our plumbing. When we washed a load of dishes, literally the dirty water would run out on the floor. And she said, "I don't care. That's how I want it. That's how it's got to be." And I'm like, no, I can't have dirty water in the floor for my employees to fall and break a leg on. But anyway, they came over and said, "Yeah, that's wrong."
Thank goodness.
And they guaranteed that they said, as long as she don't come back in, will that be okay? And I said, that's fine. She's just no longer allowed in this restaurant.
Yeah, I love that.
For a couple of years,
I thought that you stood your ground.
For a couple of years, they actually had either people come from Ellijay or Canton to give us health inspection.
I love it.
But now the person I have now, she's reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, she understands you're doing it for money.
Yes.
It's not volunteer work.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're doing bad food, people will quit eating with you.
Okay, I've got this thing that I think about all the time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Speed Burger has been excelling in what it does for 61 years. Can you imagine nitpicking y'all? That's like crazy to me. That's crazy.
And she did. And so and they did finally get rid of her. So
Wow.
she got gone before Jan completely. Yeah. So I was real tickled.
Yes.
And the one I said, of course, now she's reasonable. If you got a question, you can call and ask for an answer.
Mm-hmm. Before you spend $1,000.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a real answer. It's not because I said so.
Yeah.
That's not a good response to inside of you're making spend money.
Yeah. Oh my. I would never have lasted. If she'd have hit Sherry's iron skillet, we'd have been at the pork cotton.
It was me and her was actually out in the dining room going over the inspection one day, and she had told me one thing the previous visit. We started doing it, and then she come in and she told us something else the next time, and she counted off 9 points for it because we had never made below a 90 before this woman came. And so me and her got in an argument out in the dining room, and we were screaming at each other, and I'm really not a screamer. And they were customers in the dining room, and they were like, and I'm like, no, I'm standing my ground.
I'm glad you did.
It was just terrible. It was just terrible.
Yeah. Well, number one, it's hard to operate a business. It's hard, and it's an economical disaster often because if things happen like COVID, you have to bear the brunt of it. You don't have corporate America backing you up.
No, we went without paydays so our employees got paid.
Sure.
So that whenever we got some money back in, we could get our paydays then. But you always have to pay your employees and your suppliers because without them, you're not going to do any business.
That's it. Now, when COVID came, did people use it as an excuse not to work?
No, the people that worked for me through COVID, they worked. They worked.
That's
good. But they was also only working 2 days a week, so they were like,
yeah. I wouldn't like that because I couldn't feed my family on that.
But we managed. So
now let's talk a little bit about your precious mama. You're taking her to breakfast, and health-wise, she okay? Everything?
Yeah, she's got something called normal pressure hydrocephalus, and it's a fluid issue in the brain. And so she can't, it keeps you from being able to pick up your feet for very long. So, and Mama was doing really well. So if you ever have somebody that's getting older, and all of a sudden they're not walking and they're falling, get them checked. Because if we had found this earlier, we might have caught it before it caused some damage. But at least she had the shunt put in. So she walks with a walker, but she wants to be able to walk.
Knowing your mama, I'm sure she does.
Right, yeah. For somebody who worked at the Speed Burger who's always going, she can't do that no more.
Yeah.
So that gets her more than anything, not being able to walk.
Yeah. Okay, let's invite folks to the Speed Burger. Tell them how to get there.
Okay, we are on Old Highway 5, or if you come through downtown Jasper, you're going to come through the red lights and go down the hill, and we're on the right. We got the big orange awning. We're across from the BP station. And there's the Last Catch that's above, right up the street.
Right, and just down the street from Kegel Funeral Home.
On Kegel's, yeah, it's been there forever. And which drugstore was that?
Speaking of forever, when we think about that, I'm looking back. Bud Mills used to have a gas station there. JS had the gas station. Tom Phillips was across the street.
Arco Jones.
Yeah, Arco Jones was there. That's those families, you know.
Yeah.
That's those families, and people remember all of that.
Yeah. And the odd thing is, when we redone the dining room while we were closed for COVID, we did close for a month, and we modeled the dining room, and we put up the old pictures from Jasper, and I wanted to get pictures from those old businesses that used to be up and down the road, but nobody had them, because back then you didn't have a phone in your camera.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you a picture, JS, standing at the gas pump. Okay. Gas was, I think it was $23.9. Okay. Something like that, and somebody sent it to me a few years ago. And when I got it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah.
No, we'll put it up in the dining room. That's what I wanted to do, but we can't find any. So I went to Jackie Dunn, who has this up of his with pictures, and got some from him and from the Progress Gate. Some too. So
Okay, folks, remember that the Speed Burger is open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10:30.
From 10 o'clock in the morning, the dining room's up until 6:30, and the drive-thru is 7:30.
Okay. If you don't know about the Speed Burger, you are missing a great little meal. And honestly, a great little meal on a budget. And trust me, try the chicken tenders and try some Speed Burgers as a sidekick with it. You will love
got
it.
everything. Yeah, hot dog sandwiches, we got everything.
Yeah, and your shape machine always works.
Well, we had to get a new one. First one lasted a little bit over 50 years.
Yep.
Yeah, and the new one cost as much as a car. So,
But you can't drive.
but you can't drive. And when we bought that one, they have regions. And so I called, we needed a new one. And the lady pretty much told me that I couldn't afford one and wouldn't sell me one. Wasn't really even talk to me. So I called somebody in Birmingham, because that's a different region. And I said, can you sell me an ice cream machine? And he said, no, I can't, because you're not in my region, but I'll get in touch with somebody that can. And that's okay. It really frustrated me, because I said, I'll bring you the cash to Atlanta right now if that's what you want me to do. I could, trust me, if I want the ice cream machine, I will afford the ice cream. Oh my gosh. But she was like, I can't sell it to you. You won't be able to pay for it. And I'm like, what?
That is crazy. So they're assuming that because
we're not a chain.
Yes, and this small town, been in business 61 years, and she takes it on herself to not sell you an ice cream. Well, she
can afford it. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
Boss called me, and I told him, and he got me an ice cream.
I bet he did.
They don't have them sitting in stock anymore, though. They make them to order. They gave us a loan for 6 months, and our new one showed up in 6 months.
That is crazy.
It's been great. So the first one lost 50 years.
Yeah. Well, I know you have it, because last week I went by and got 2 vanilla shakes. So I knew you had one.
And we use Mayfield products, so it is.
Yes, of course you do. Yes, yeah. And there's a difference in that milk and that ice cream. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I know I'm so excited to share the Speed Burger. It's old news that hasn't traveled fast, because a lot of folks in Ball Ground didn't even know you existed. Right. And we're going to share the word now. So again, thank you so much. And everybody head to the Speed Burger. The line is long, and it is worth the wait.
And the address is 562 East Church Street, but you need to Google it.
There you go. There you go. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, the Sherry menu would be 2 chicken tenders and have them for lunch. Grab your 4 speed cheeseburgers with slaw to take home with you and eat them for supper. And Lord have mercy, that sure beats cooking. And again, the Speed Burgers open Monday and Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, and they open at 10 and close at like 7, I think, but then they close the dining room a little bit early and they do drive-through. But I will tell you, consistent, good, great people. So go by and get to know the Speed Burger. It is just on Old Highway 5. Folks that are new to the area, all they know is 515. Well, I do the back roads. And so to get to the Speed Burger, you get off 515 at 53, and you go into downtown Jasper, and you round that curve at Walgreens, and you go right down there just past Cagle Funeral Home, and they're right there on the right. Really good folks, really good food. And if you'd like for us to do a story about another local restaurant, then pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, we need you to get to know so-and-so, because there are so many local restaurants that have been here forever, and they need to get a little bit of support from everybody, because when you think about being consistent, being on time, having the doors open, that's what it meant. 61 years the Speed Burger's done it. Now, I've got a piece of property over at the Dawson-Cherokee County line. It has a beautiful view from the top, and I just see this amazing 3-story house with a big balcony on the top, and you overlook this beautiful lake site, and then you also see a mountain site. That's what these mountains are for. When people come out of the city, they're looking for a unique spot. They either want something really, really quiet with a creek. That's the big thing. Everybody says, oh, I want a couple of acres with a creek. That's not always possible to find. But there's always somewhere with a really, really good view. And if you're looking, I've got 6 acres listed, and it has a beautiful, beautiful view overlooking the Crystal Reservoir at the Cherokee-Dawson County line. And I've never seen the view, but Tim has, because the drone was up in the air, and you'll get to see the view from the drone. So can we pull that up now, guys? Hello? Hello? Can we get it? Yeah, we're going to get it. Yay! Okay. Well, I'll say something my granny used to say. Well, I'll Swanee, I don't know how we ever sold real estate without a drone, because those drones can show you things that you would never see anywhere else. I don't know if I'll ever get to learn how to operate a drone, because now you have to have a license and all this stuff. But seeing these mountains with the drone's eye view is pretty cool. If you're looking for 6 acres and it's 25 minutes to the Outlet Mall, it's 25 minutes to Cumming, it's 20 minutes to Jasper, Georgia. If you're looking for something where you could build your dream home on 6 acres, pick up the phone and call me, and you saw the views, and it is truly beautiful. Now, that music that you heard in that little spot came from Mr. Ellijay. You know, we couldn't do this show without Mr. Ellijay, because his music is about the music that came out of the mountains, about the mountain people, and about the mountain scenery. And so we're going to leave you today with a song that he wrote, he produced, he did all the instruments on. He does everything, and I can't wait until Christmas season when we can share his Christmas music. As we approach the holidays, think about those folks who don't have somebody to have a holiday meal with. If you're cooking, fix an extra plate and take it to a neighbor. If you're cooking, fix a plate and call in a kid that you see hanging out and riding his bike and maybe doesn't have a family situation. Do something for somebody else over the holidays. I guarantee you it will it will bless you more than it will bless them. The holidays are about getting together, enjoying those who are still here, and remembering those who aren't. There are going to be a lot of tables with an empty chair. And when I think of the empty chairs of just the people in my immediate circle that I could name, It's going to be different this year because every single holiday, somebody else is gone, somebody else is gone, somebody else is gone. But sit down, laugh, talk about them. Don't try to hide their memory away. Remember them, and remember some of their crazy antics, and you will find yourself smiling. And then when it's all over, nothing but happy memories. So we're going to leave you now with a happy memory written, produced, and all about Mr. Ellijay.
How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Ellijay. That's with a J.
About 90 miles north of Atlanta, where the Coosawhatee lay. They come out of the hills to pay their telephone bills in a town called Ellijay. When the mayor drove a shiny 62 Corvette, Slim was in a cruiser with a Cobra jet. What you see is exactly what you get if you come to Ellijay. Hey, Ellijay, a mighty fine place to be. Ellijay, 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 good enough for you and me. Yeah. Apple blossom, baby possum, muscadine wine. Leave all your troubles at the welcome sign. I'm so proud to call a piece of this mine a town called Ellijay.
How you like them apples?
Run right through the middle of town, and late in the evening when the sun goes down, you can drive through and hear the happy sounds of the folks in Ellijay. Now way back in the summer of '73, the Red Dot parking lot was the place to be, but you could get more than what you bargained for back in those days in Ellijay. Yeah, you could. Ellijay, a mighty fine place to be. Ellijay, good enough for you and me. Yeah. 69 Road Runner, Charger RT, pistol grip 4-speed, 380. Boys, that's the way it all used to be, right here in Ellijay.
Ellijay? Go ahead, Chief.